This is how you assemble the ELO screen and stand. Good to know and prepare for. Make sure you have a clean, clear floor space. The assembly time is around 1 hour. You need to be 2 persons. You will need 1 Phillips screwdriver and 1 box cutter. The stand parts come in 3 packages. One contains the base. The second contains the stand, mounting brackets, screws, and other accessories. The third package contains the ELO screen and the power cables. We will start by opening the base package. Once the box is open, carefully position it on the ground. Ensuring that the longer parallel side is facing you. Let's open the second package, which contains the stand. Take a look at how the box appears when you open it. Inside this package, you'll discover all the assembly screws, display brackets, and various accessories. Carefully remove the pouches containing the accessories from the package. Place them neatly on a clear and uncluttered surface for easy access. In addition, retrieve the screen mounting bracket labeled Android from the top of the package. Set it aside for later use during the assembly process. It's time to remove the stand from the packaging. Keep in mind that the stand can be quite heavy, so having 2 people for this task is advisable. Once the protective packaging is off, let's move on to the next step. Carefully position the stand vertically on the base, making sure to align the gray cabinet at the front with the longer side of the base. Next, grab 4 screws from the plastic bag labeled K. Attach 2 of these screws to the sides of the stand. Similarly, secure the remaining 2 screws on the back of the stand as shown. Ensure they are tightly screwed on to firmly attach the stand to the base. Moving on, you'll want to carefully unscrew the 4 screws located on the lower gray part of the cabinet in the front. Be sure to save these screws and keep them in a secure place, as they'll be required for reassembling later. Finally, once the screws are removed, gently take out the unscrewed lower cabinet. To complete the assembly, grab the remaining 2 screws from the bag labeled K. Use these to securely attach the front of the stand. With this step, the stand will be fully and firmly attached to the base. Let's shift our attention to the back of the stand. You'll see how to remove the 2 screws from the top gray part of the stand. By removing these screws, you'll notice that the printer tray in the front becomes loose, allowing you to easily take it off. This step grants access to the power cables. Let's move on to the next step. Take out 2 screws from bag A. Carefully attach each of these screws to the top 2 holes, ensuring there's a 1/8" 3mm gap between them. This spacing is crucial as it's needed for mounting the screen brackets later. Next, select the bracket labeled Android. Please note that the Windows bracket won't be used in this assembly. Here, you'll see how to remove the 2 screws located on the edges of the bracket. Open up the bracket as shown and secure the rod at the bottom. This will ensure that the 2 faces of the bracket are open, forming a V shape. It's time to mount the bracket on the stand. You can also adjust the tightness of the 2 screws that were affixed earlier if necessary. For the next step, retrieve 2 more screws from bag A and securely attach them to the holes at the bottom of the bracket. Pay close attention to ensure that the points labeled A, B, and C are aligned correctly. With these steps completed, the scanner stand is now securely attached to the screen bracket. Let's carefully remove the screen from its box and take off the first plastic covering. Please note that the second plastic cover should remain in place for now. Inside this box, you'll also find essential power supply accessories that will be used later. Gently lay the screen face down on the floor, ensuring utmost care to prevent any scratches. Retrieve 2 screws from the bag marked L and securely attach them to the holes located just below the ELO logo. Leave a 3mm, 1/8" gap between them. It's time to remove the lid from the power supply box located at the back of the screen. Carefully lift the screen and position it onto the bracket. If necessary, tighten the screws to ensure a secure fit. Don't forget to keep the power supply box accessible, from which the lid was removed earlier. Lastly, on the side of the bracket that's attached to the screen, add 2 more screws from bag L at the bottom. With these steps completed, the screen is now securely attached to the bracket on the stand. In the package, you'll find both EU and US compatible power cables. Select the one that's suitable for your region. Lift the scanner base and guide the power cable from underneath the back of the base. Carefully lift the cable and thread it upwards. Pull the cable out from the wide slot, typically located next to the point labeled C. Thread the cable through the gap under the bracket and connect it to the power supply of the screen. With these steps completed, the power cables are now securely attached to the screen. Remove the hatch to close the bracket and gently lay the screen on the bracket. To complete the assembly, reattach the 2 screws that were previously removed from the bracket before mounting. To finalize the assembly, reattach the top cabinet in the front using the screws that you had saved from earlier. Following the same process, reattach the lower cabinet as well. This will ensure a secure and complete assembly. Remove the protective plastic covering from the screen. Congratulations! Your ELO screen is now fully assembled and ready to be powered on. Finally, connect the power supply and switch on the power button to start using your ELO screen.